It's so beautiful. Is this heaven? No, this is tailwater. All right, guys, what's up? This is Alex back with Tailwater Fly Shop, and in front of me, I do have a pretty beautiful sight, a table full of reels. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Should you spend money on a saltwater fly reel? So a reel that you're planning on using specifically for salt, and some of you are probably looking at the table right now and you're saying those are some freshwater reels. Those aren't saltwater reels, but for some lighter saltwater applications, some of these, or a lot of these reels will work. So the first question we kind of ask people when they walk into the shop and they're looking for a reel, maybe they're new to fly fishing or they're new to saltwater fly fishing specifically, if they've moved here to the great state of Florida recently, or if they're new to fly fishing altogether, is what are you going to be using it for? So for the most part, for most light duty saltwater applications, okay, you're looking at that 7 weight, 8 weight, some people like a 9 weight range for a little bit of the heavier, I guess on the heavier side of light duty. So so that light duty is anything from, speckled trout, redfish, snook, jacks, and anything that you're kind of doing on in real shallow water, sight fishing stuff, hitting the mangroves, hitting the grass flats, those sorts of things. But basically, your smaller side. So there's a wide range of prices and of features that you can get on the saltwater side. So and especially on the lighter or the heavy duty, because saltwater can kind of span from one day. In one day you can be out catching a 20-inch redfish, and then same day you're catching 180-pound tarpon. So it kind of covers the entire gamut, but you got to have multiple setups or different setups for that. So what do you get? Well, on the lighter side of things, okay, similar to trout fishing, for the most part, your reel is going to be a line holder. So for some applications like bonefish or like permit fishing, obviously a drag is extremely important because you're fishing fish, for fish that are really fast, that you have to stop. Sometimes you're on foot, sometimes you got to do that. But for the most part, for the lighter saltwater stuff, you're not necessarily going after fish that are going to make runs of 100 plus yards or any of those sorts of things. So having a strong drag is important if you're fishing the mangroves, but really you're probably not putting that drag down more than 4, 5, maybe 6 pounds at the most. So on the lighter end of things, should you spend money? Well, you can spend money, but I would say that the rod and the line are the most important part of a light duty feature. So you could get something like a Redington Behemoth that's going to be in that just over $100 price range. This is the bigger one, so obviously this one could be for the bigger weights too, but they have a smaller size that they offer for that 8 weight range. Or you could, jump up into something maybe a little bit nicer. So maybe that ultralight saltwater range. So you have your Nautilus, your XL Max. So this is going to cover that 7, 8, 9 weight range. And this reel is going to have a fully sealed drag. But what's nice about this reel is it's extremely lightweight, and it's going to be easy to cast all day, whether it's on a 7 weight, 8 weight, even a 9 weight possibility. Or you could get into the Able SDF. This reel is definitely on the higher end of stuff, but what you're getting with this reel is you're getting that Able construction. I mean, when you just hold this thing in your hands, it feels like it's more expensive than most of the other reels that I have on the table. But this is going to be a fully sealed drag, but what's nice about this is the max drag is only about 7 pounds on this, so you really can't over tighten this, which is nice, especially if you're fishing lighter tippet in the wintertime, or the old classics. So you kind of get into the heavier duty light saltwater stuff and the T-Bore Everglades. Not the lightest reel, but definitely going to be one of the most dependable reels you can spend your money on. This is a reel that you can buy and give to your grandkids one day if you take care of it. And so on the smaller saltwater side, okay, the drag in the reel probably isn't super important. Now, is that a great sales pitch? No, it's not. Is that an honest pitch? Yes, that's what it is. So if you're doing something specifically like bone fishing, or really bonefish is probably one of the things that's going to be the hardest on your gear. Sure, finding a reel that has an extremely well constructed, it's going to be able to hold up to harsh saltwater environments where you're maybe waiting, or you're out in the sun, you know, days after days, or maybe you forget to rinse your gear. Something like a Tibor Everglades, something like a Nautilus CCFX2 is going to help you out. But you don't necessarily need to spend $1,000 on a lighter saltwater reel. Okay, so this Tibor Everglades in the gold color is $730. Okay, definitely at the higher end of things. But what this reel gives you is this reel has a cork drag. It's fully made in the USA, made in Delray Beach, Florida, so about 3 hours from us here. It's a classic reel. Their warranty is amazing. If anything happens to this reel, you can take it apart and you can actually fix it yourself. Requires a little bit of maintenance because it's not a fully sealed drag, but is going to be one of the most famous and best drags out there with that cork drag. And then you can get into something, maybe on the less expensive side that's going to do what you need on the light duty side. So an Orvis Hydros, okay? This reel is going to be sub $300 in that $250 to $300 range, depending on the size that you choose. Here's what you're going to get with this reel at this price. You're going to get a fully sealed drag system that they offer. Okay, it's going to be a carbon composite drag system that they have. It's going to be a quick release spool, so easy spool changes or anything like that. It just has a little latch on it. You're going to get that Orvis warranty, which, hey, a lot of times bigger is better when it comes to warranty. So sometimes it's not, but with Orvis they have a really good warranty system. I do know that a lot of guides are using these Orvis Hydros reels just because they're extremely dependable and they're not that expensive. So you can get into a really nice lighter duty saltwater reel for that. So then we get up into the heavy stuff, okay? And obviously this is the more specialty stuff. This is stuff that not everybody necessarily gets into, but it is the stuff where that reel and the quality of the reel is going to be more important, because if you hook into a tarpon that is over 50 pounds, okay, and you're using a 10, 11, or 12 weight, the drag is going to be engaged. You're not stripping that fish in. So that fish like a tarpon or like a giant trevally, or if you like to do some offshore stuff for sailfish or other billfish, that drag is going to be extremely important. And there's a few different options and a few different routes you can go. Budget route, I've already talked about this reel, the Redington Behemoth, okay? This reel is this is their 12 weight size, 11-12. This reel retails for $150. It's going to have a fully sealed drag system, pretty beefy drag system, okay? It's going to put out, quite a bit of drag. I think it puts out over 20 pounds of drag that you could lock this thing down to. It's a polymer drag system, so is it going to be the longest lasting, best drag out there? No, it's not. But if you're trying to get into tarpon fishing or something like that, and you really are trying to stay within that budget, then that's something that that's a route you can go. We have a lot of other options too. From price point, you get it kind of into the more mid price point. So this is a Nautilus CCFX2. So this reel comes in sizes from 8 weight all the way up to the Silver King, which is like their 12 weight. And what the Nautilus CCFX2 gives you is fully made in the USA, Nautilus brand, one of the best warranties. I've personally used it multiple times for anything that comes up. They're always willing to fix it. And what this drag is, it's fully sealed, and CCF stands for cork and carbon fiber. So that cork and carbon fiber is going to give you the best of both worlds. It's going to give you the durability of the carbon, but it's going to give you the smoothness and the startup inertia of cork, which is something that's important for if you're fishing lighter lines. When we get into the Tibor Signature Series, this reel is going to be more expensive. This reel in this color scheme is going to be $1,000. And this reel is going to be something, it's a fully sealed cork drag system. So This big green disc you see on the back, okay, that's where the cork drag actually sits. And what the cork drag does is, again, it's extremely smooth while being extremely strong, but it stops that startup inertia. So if you are fishing lighter class for tarpon, you're not getting that, you know, kind of that startup inertia that sometimes can pop lighter tippet. Or, you know, say you're feeling it and you just got a bonus, and you know, maybe you just want the biggest, baddest, meanest, and most expensive fly reel you can get. You could jump into a Mako. So this is a 9600, which is kind of their 10, 11, 12. They make a 9700, which is going to be their 12 plus. These Makos are fully, you know, made and assembled in Washington, Bellingham, Washington. And these reels are starting to become extremely popular amongst the world record holders or hunters because it does have a single turn drag. So right now I'm in full free spool, okay? One turn puts me in full drag. So here's what you're getting with this, okay? You're getting a boutique style fly reel brand that has big company quality, and you're getting that personal, you know, kind of feel from them. So, I mean, that's a beefy drag in there. So, so again, this is a full carbon drag. It's going to be something that is going to last forever. It's maintenance free. You can dunk this thing. You can, you know, forget to rinse it off for weeks at a time, and it's going to be okay. And you know, you can splurge and you can go like that. You can get the customized Able SDS. So should you spend money on a saltwater fly reel? Well, here's what I would say. On the lighter things, I definitely think you should take your budget and focus a little bit heavier on the rod and the line. And then on the heavier side of things, I would say the rod and line are equally as important, but you should be spending a little bit more money on a reel. All right, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Leave in the comments, what rod and reel do you use? How much money do you think that you should be spending on a reel? And make sure you go watch our rod video, which kind of breaks down the same thing about should you spend money on a saltwater fly rod.